everybody, Rob here. I had a chance this week to play with the very cool Git Bisect command. Very useful in some cases for debugging problems that you think have recently reared their heads. So I wanted to give you a demonstration of this. It's pretty cool stuff. First of all, I wrote a little script, check user count, and it's just going to initialize our database for us. Then it's going to import some data, and it's going to check that we have the expected number of users loaded into this database. And in this case, no, we expected 4, but we got 1. So I returned from that. With a 0 error code, sorry, a 1 error code, to say, exit code is 1. This failed. So the next thing I did when diagnosing this problem was I wanted to go back in time. So I used the old git checkout -f, and I gave it a place in time, but a couple months ago. So now we are in, we've got a copy of our source as of a couple months ago. We're in a detached head state. Don't worry about that. We're playing with our source as of a couple months ago. Now I can run my test again. That was squiggle, check user count, and so this is the same test, but we're using source that was a couple months old. And if I'm lucky, this test will actually pass. And I've done this before, so I know it's going to pass. It's going to return the expected number of users. Good, yay. So in this case, we've got the expected number of users, and it's good. So a useful technique is using Git to kind of go back and forth between different versions and just narrow it down. And a good old binary sort is a good way to do this. And we can use this Git Bisect command to kind of automate that for us. So I'm just going to type in Git Bisect, and I want to start a Git bisection. So I'll go Git Bisect start. So there we go. And you'll notice it popped us back to our master. And we know that the master had a problem. So we can say Git Bisect bad. So this code right here was bad. Right? So I've marked a point where it's not working right. Now, when I did this initially, I did it manually. So the way you do that is, I did that checkout. So that was git checkout, blah, blah, blah. So now I'm at a different point in time. And I know that if I run that test again, this one's going to be good. So I can just type in Git Bisect good. So I know this spot is good. And it looked at all the revisions between, the good point and the bad point, and it figured out that, if we ran a similar test roughly 4 times, we can probably narrow down exactly where this problem started. So the way to do this, and you'll notice it actually, after I told it the good one and the bad one, it changed where I was. It bumped me to a different location. So first of all, let me just run that test again, and we'll find out if it's good or bad. So we run the test, and this is something you could be doing by hand, but since I threw it all in one big script, and tested it at the end, it's quite nice. It does it all. Now those exceptions, that kind of tells us it's probably bad, and sure enough it is. So we've identified another spot, and this one's bad. So let's go Git Bisect and say this one's bad. Cool. So we've narrowed it down, and there's roughly 3 more bisections that we have to do before we can say this is the spot in time where things started to go haywire. Now thankfully, I can do this. I can manually run it, but there's another really cool command that my buddy David told me about, and that's the run command. So using Git Bisect run, I can actually pass in a script that I want to run. And that happens to be the script I've been running. So check, there we go, check user count. So when I do a git bisect run, it's going to continue to do this git bisect good, git bisect bad automatically for me by running this command. So it's going to run this command for me, and depending on the result, it'll, if the result is 0, it knows it was good. If the return code, I should say, is 1, it knows it was bad. So using this command, it will automatically find the first point in time where this test started to fail. So it's running one test, as we can see. So far it's looking pretty good. I didn't see an exception, so I bet you that one's good. And it was. So it found a spot where it's good. Now it's running another test. Doing its test, doing its import. Bad. Okay, it looked like it found another bad one. So it says, yeah, that one's bad. And then it runs off and does the next one. Is it good? Is it bad? I don't know. You're hard to say. We don't even know where we were in time. Running the test, that's looking pretty good. I think it found a good one. Still has to do another test. It estimated 3. I think this is number 3 or 4. I don't know. Doesn't matter. It's only an estimate. And cool. Oh, and so we found it. So we found the specific spot in time where this particular error first reared its head. So thanks to Git Bisect, it automated that for me, and very cool stuff.